Hey there. Today we're going to learn how to find the combined area of a complex or composite figure. And when I say composite or complex figure, I'm really just talking about a shape that can be broken down into a more than one basic shape. So we know when we're looking for area, in our first example here, we're going to be looking for the area of this shape right here. And we know that when we're looking for area, there's a formula that we can use, which is area is equal to length times width. And we know that we're looking at a flat object here, a two-dimensional object. And we see that the area formula for length times width really only applies to a rectangular or a square figure. And this is not a rectangular or a square figure. However, I can separate this into two different rectangular or square figures by cutting it in half. So I could either cut it right there, and then I would have this as one rectangle and this as another rectangle, or I could cut it right here and have this rectangle up top and this almost square on the bottom. So I'm going to choose to cut it this way for today. I'm going to cut it right down here, and we're going to say that this rectangle over here is rectangle 1. And we'll say that this rectangle over here is rectangle 2. And again, in order to find the combined area of these two, I'm going to find the area of each one individually and then add them together. So, taking a look at this rectangle 1 to begin with, we'll say the first one. We need to identify the length and the width. So if I choose any point where two lines meet, I can see the length for this rectangle is equal to 5 feet. So the length is 5 feet. And the width is going to be equal to 3 feet. For the second figure, we need to do a little bit more investigation. So if I pinpoint one point where two lines meet, I can see that my length is equal to 2 feet. But I can't see what my width is. I know that this is 3, and I know this whole line over here is 6, but I can't determine what this line is right here. So what I need to do is, if I know that this line would really be equal to this whole line right here, all I need to do is subtract the leftover to find what I have missing. So 3 feet and 3 feet would give me 6 feet. So I know that my missing length here is going to be 3 feet. So this length and this width is 2 by 3. This length and this width is 5 by 3. And now I need to find the area of both. So I find the area by multiplying 5 times 3. The area for the first rectangle would be 15 feet squared. And the area for my second rectangle would be 2 times 3, which is 6 feet squared. And then to find the combined total area of both, I'm going to want to add these two together. So 15 plus 6 gives me 21 square feet. So the total area of this figure would be 21 squared feet. Let's take a look at another example. This is a similar shape that we have here. And again, we're going to have some missing lengths that we're going to need to find. So again, it doesn't matter which way you want to cut this into two pieces. We can choose to cut it like this and have one piece here and another piece here. Or we could choose to cut it right here and have one piece here and one piece here. I'm going to choose to go ahead and cut it this way. so that I have one rectangle right here, another rectangle, right here. Okay, and again, in order to find the combined area, I need to find the area of both of these individually and then add them together. So let's start with rectangle number 2. So if I choose one point, I can see the length for this rectangle is equal to 10 centimeters. And I can see that the width of this rectangle is equal to 2 centimeters. And then for this rectangle up here, I don't have a length or a width given to me. I see here that this whole line is 9, but I'm missing this section right here. So this section needs to be subtracted from this section to give me the missing length. So 9 minus 2 centimeters would make this length 7 centimeters. So this length plus that length, 7 plus 2, would give me 9, that length on that side. And then same thing over here. I don't know what this length is or this width is, but I do know that this whole line down here is equal to 10 centimeters, and this section right here is equal to 6 centimeters. So this missing section must be the difference between 10 and 6. This has to be 4 centimeters. So 4 centimeters plus 6 centimeters would give me this total line of 10 centimeters. So my length and my width for my first rectangle is going to be 7 and 4. And then again, to find the area, I'm going to multiply both of these together. 7 times 4 gives me 28 centimeters squared. And 10 times 2 gives me 20 centimeters squared. And then to find the total combined area, I need to add both of those two together. 28 plus 20 would give me a combined area of 48 centimeters squared. Let's try one more example. And in this example, we're going to see a very complex figure in this case. Here we have, we're going to end up needing to divide this 3 times. So I'm going to draw a line right here and a line right here, and that's going to give me 3 separate rectangles to be able to find the area of each. Starting with this first one right here, I can see that my length and my width are already given to me. My length could be 25 millimeters, and my width would be 17 millimeters. For my second rectangle, I have one of my lengths given to me. In this case, I have 13. I know that the width will be 13 millimeters, but I don't know what this length is right here. I know that this section, right from here to here, is equal to 8 millimeters, and I know that this section from here to here is equal to 10 millimeters, so I really need to add both of those together to give me this full length. So 10 plus 8 would be 18 millimeters for my length. And then finally down here, I do have both of these measurements. I can see that my length is 10 and my width is 16. So for my third rectangle, length is 10, width is 13. Excuse me, 16. All right, and now I need to go ahead and multiply these lengths and widths together to get areas. So 25 times 17. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. 0 placeholder. 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 2 is 2. And when I add those together, I come up with a total area of 425 millimeters squared. Let's do the same thing for this one. 18 times 13. So I have 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 1 plus 2 is 5. 1 times 8 and 1 times 1. And when I combine these, I come up with 234 millimeters squared. And finally right here, 10 times 16, well, I know that 10 times anything is really just that number with a 0 after it. So I know that my area for the last problem would be 160 millimeters squared. All right, now in order to find the total area, again, I need to add these three together. So, starting with 425 plus 234, 5 plus 4 gives me 9, 5, 6. And then I'm going to add the last numbers, 9, 11, and 8. So I come up with a total area of 819 millimeters squared.